That's a fucking pity, man. Yeah, no worries, man. Oh, here's Dragon now. What? I started. I started. It's too late. It's too late. Do me a favor. Do me a favor, will you, before you leave? Check my stream to see if it's working, will you? Ooh, it's cloudy for the race start. This is take number 3. Welcome along. No qualifying this time though, and we're going to go straight to the race. Random grid. Yeah, no, this is not an F2 race. This is an F1 division race. How could you say? Eloquently doesn't start on time, which is now the norm these days for F1. So, unfortunately, but fashionably late, you could say. No bother. Cheers, buddy. Thanks a million, and apologies for not being able to help me out, but thanks for showing up anyway. Cheers, dude. Have a good one. Yeah, so luckily it's going to be me all by my lonesome, so I'm going to do my best that I can to run up and down to the grid for this race. Hopefully I can collect all the action. Might be a little bit slower because I'm not going to have much help, but I'll try my best. And hopefully this time around we can get a good race underway. This is going to be the third, as we said, attempt, and it is going to be a random grid, so it should be a good shake-up to the race. But also every car will be on fully threaded tyres. Nobody is going to have wear, so the strategies could change even more, and depending on their position on the grid will depend on their tyre choice. So hopefully we will have a very, very good run into the third attempt of the Spanish Grand Prix here in the F1 division, which we should be getting on the way very, very soon. So we're just waiting on Juan Luke to run down to the drivers, make sure everybody's ready to go, and everybody is ready to go as we have now readied up. So it won't be long and we will be with the action. Whether we will have a formation up or not, I don't know. Probably will do. And no, it's not a formation lap actually. And it is a race start. And we are going to retire as soon as possible. And we do retire. Now, has every car got away safely around turn 1? There's no debris ahead, and Matt Lowe leads the way. Juan Luke is in second position. Third position, George Garton in the Renault. Fourth, Wayne Hammer, the teammate in the second Renault, being challenged by Sam Innit in the Force India as he moves up to fourth place. Nice move there. Wayne Hammer down to fifth. Windseeker up to sixth, and as we speak, up to fifth position. Wayne Hammer going backwards now in the Renault. Seventh place, Robbie E. Eighth position goes to Mustafa Shag, being challenged by Jismer on the outside in the Mercedes. Oh, and it's going to be a tight one. Is there going to be contact here? Side by side. Nice move. Mustafa Shag 9th now. Forrester in 10th position at the minute. Matt Lowe leading the way still, followed by Juan Luke. And Luke is going to have a look down to the inside of turn 1. Matt Lowe now drops to 4th place. Ooh, the two Force Indias are at it side by side. Luke holds on, and it is now the lead. Mintseeker takes control of this race. Mintseeker leading the way to two Force Indias, 2nd and 3rd. Salmon is in 3rd there. George Garton, as you can see, on his way up the field to 4th position. Matt Lowe down to 5th position. Wayne Hammer seems to be going backwards now in the Renault. Mustafa Shag, oh, unfortunately left the session, but he's got back in. Forrester in 7th place now, moving up the field. Robbie E in 8th. Mustafa Shag down in 9th place, so he's gone backwards and has unfortunately left the session for some reason. Jism in 10th position. Mintseeker leads the way on the Super Softs. And his closest rival is Juan Luke, who is in 2nd position. Jism has got back into the race. And in the background you can see Salmonet being challenged now by the Renault of George Garton. Which way is he going to go here? Stays behind and has a second thought. He is on the medium tyres as well, is George, so brilliantly done from him to be up so close to the front runners. I think he's going to go for the long haul here. Probably will take over the lead at some stage if he can stay with these front guys. And currently in 4th position. All over the back of Salmon's Force India, and soon enough will probably... Oh, little speed wobble there on the exit of the 2nd DRS zone. Gets up on the curb a little bit too much. Let's see what can George do here. Can he line himself up for a run down to turn 1? Oh, he's gone up the inside. He's making an early move. He's going to get DRS. Oh, Sam's just seen him at the last minute and beautifully manoeuvred by the Renault driver down to turn 1. Got the manoeuvre done quicker than what his expected was. And into turn 1 we go as George moves himself up into 3rd position. And on the medium tyre, might I add, he is going faster than the super soft tyres. Or the soft tyres, I beg your pardon. And... really on a charge now is George, so he's in the best possible position that he could be in. As you can see, there is only Mintseeker literally only gone around the corner ahead, so he's in the best position that he can be in for the long haul of this race. He can eventually and will eventually take the lead, as those medium tyres will last a lot longer than the softs. Down the grid we go. Salmonit into 4th place. Forrester now up to 5th, so he is on a charge as well in the Williams, as he passes Wayne Hammer, who's down into 6th position, being closely followed by Matt Lowe in the Haas. Followed by him is Robbie E in the Red Bull, his teammate trailing along as well in 9th place, and he is under attack now from the Mercedes of Jism, who is on the soft tyres also. So Jism didn't alter his strategy at the start of the race. He never opted to go for the medium tyre, which we thought he would have done. He's going to be definitely in DRS zone here if he can stay with the back of this Red Bull. He's run a little wide on his way into the final corner, and I don't think he's going to get a close enough run at the Red Bull here unless he's got the power advantage. What can he do? He's got the DRS open, but is it enough? I don't think it is. No, He's not going to get there in time. So he's going to have another stab at this. Mintseeker now pulling away from the pack ahead. George Garton into second position now as he takes that away from Juan Luke. And George definitely on a charge here. And on the medium tyres, he's making them work beautifully well. The first stint obviously going to be a bit longer for all these cars, as they didn't have to qualify on the tyres that they're on now. So they will get an extra few laps out of them. And again, it's gone to a red or a Force India battle between Sam Innett and Juan Luke. Will there be team orders here at Force India? The nervous antics of the team engineer back on the pit wall of Force India. Vijay Mallya looking on. He knows these two cars are quick. He knows his two drivers are competitive. But the last thing any team manager wants is for their teammates to collide. We do know Spain is the famous venue here. Not so long ago during the season, where the two Mercedes contacted each other at the very start of lap 1, and both took each other out. So definitely a reminder in the back of Vijay Mallya's head as Luke is going around the outside of turn 1. He's made the move stick, but George is coming back and up the inside, and a beautifully oh, look at that, fantastic driving from the two guys there. Salmon is having a look at the inside. This is going to be 3 into turn. Oh, Luke's going around the outside again, and a beautiful manoeuvre from the Force India driver, and he's sandwiched literally in between the two Force Indias. Is that Renault? Not a good place to be for George, and he knows he's under serious pressure now. The soft tyre, obviously the faster of the two. Luke determined to hold on to his position, but George is going to get DRS here. And also, so is Sam Innett. What a battle this is for second position. Second, third and fourth all literally tucked up right beside each other. George goes up the inside again, makes that early manoeuvre down to the final turn, but Luke is on his tail, and ooh, this is going to be, and it's a collision. Oh, and the Force India drivers have managed to get away with it, but Sam Innett has taken third place, and that really was a close one. What a battle this is for third place, second place I should say. As we ride on board the Renault now, trying to defend again from the fast moving Force India on the soft tyre, on the faster tyre, as we come down to the hairpin. George defends on the inside. He's on the slower tyre. He's going to be lacking pace against these two guys, but they need to clear him ASAP. Can they do it? Can they get the job done? And around, oh, George runs on sausage curb. Sam Innett goes on the inside. These Force Indians getting too close to each other, and the two of them go in the inside. Has hit the wall and a retiree straight away, and that is unbelievably bad luck. As you can see, Sam in his car already in smithereens, so he got the exit there and he hasn't come out the best, but Luke has managed to get himself back up to second position, and I wonder was there contact between Luke and Sam, but whatever happened there, one of the Force Indians has come out the worst, and that is Vijay Mallya's worst nightmare, and he is not going to be too happy. There will be words had back on the pit wall, and I'm sure Sam is going to be one really angry driver now. And again, already you can see George on the attack from Juan Luke, as Forrester moves himself up to fourth position in the Williams, followed by Wayne Hammer, who's up in sixth on the medium tyres as well. and he is being chased by Robbie in the Red Bull. Also followed on from him is the teammate of the other Red Bull in Mustafa Shag, who's still being pursued by Jism, cannot find a way past that Red Bull yet. Matt Lowe down in 9th position, and we are left with 9 cars here in Spain, and almost 57 laps to go. Mintseeker in the lead, and a very commanding lead, as you can see. 10 seconds is the oh, look at this. Forrester obviously gaining from the DRS and taking both George and one Luke. Oh, that's not good. George, oh, unfortunately, has he got damage? We're not sure. There was a little love tap there between the two cars, and George has retired from the race. Oh, and that's not good. Forrester moves up to 2nd position. One Luke in 3rd, and that was touch and go. We're going to have a look at that again afterwards, and see if we can come to some conclusion of what happened there. It initially looked like a bit of a love tap from the Force India of one Luke, and it nudged George into the wall, unfortunately, and retired his car. And the cars now just seem to be dropping like flies. Luke has DRS on the Williams ahead of him, but Forrester already a good bit up the road, and in hot pursuit of Mintseeker, trying to drag him down if he can. The gap 11.3 seconds to the leader, so a lot of work to be done from all these guys trailing behind. Luke 3rd, Robbie E up to 4th position now in the Red Bull, followed by Wayne Hammer in 5th position. Jism is in 6th, Mustafa Shag down in 7th, so Jism and Wayne have both got past the Red Bull. I wonder, did he make a mistake somewhere, or what happened to him? I don't know. Matt Lowe in 8th position, and that is the last of the final runners that we have. 8 cars here in Spain. Mintseeker really out in his own in the Toro Rosso. There is the battle as Juan Luke and Forrester fight for 2nd position. Can Juan Luke gain back up onto the back of that Williams? It looks like he's got a little bit closer than he was in the last lap. Ooh, a little bit out of shape on the way into the final corner there, but is he going to lay himself up for DRS? I think he is. Yes, he is. Can he gain anything down the long straight here? Forrester still holds on to that 2nd position. Forrester into the pits he comes, and obviously the stint for him is over at lap 11, and he has had enough of those yellow wall soft tyres. So we'll keep an eye on the Williams driver here and see what it is that he's going to put onto the car now. It probably will be, it's a fresh set of options again. And Forster back out in 7th position now, and the Mintseeker still on his same tyres. Juan Luke opts to stay out as well, so I wonder now, is Forster going for the undercut? Robbie E up to 3rd position in the Red Bull, followed closely by the Wayne Hammer in the Renault, the singly and sole remaining Renault on the medium tyres, might I add. So Wayne Hammer probably in the best situation out of all these front runners at the minute. He will stay out longer, followed by Jism, who is on the soft tyres in the Mercedes in 5th place. Mustafa Shag in 6th in the Red Bull. Forrester now in 7th place, and he is running last of the runners. So very few cars left in this race, only 12 laps in, as Juan Luke starts his 12th lap. 13th lap, I should say, sorry. And he has been tracked down very, very quickly by the Red Bull behind. This is probably the closest battle that we have so far on track for 2nd place, and you can see there is 3rd, and in the background the Renault of Wayne Hammer is in 4th place and running very well indeed, and he will be looking to get the mediums as far up the road as possible. Luke now starting to look like he's starting to struggle a little bit on these tyres, as the Red Bull is climbing all over the back. Now, will the teams call in their cars now? Surely these tyres must be coming to the end of their life. And Luke does peel away into the pits. Let's see what kind of strategy Force India are opting for. 13 laps on the option tyres wasn't bad. How is this going to go for Luke as he puts on fresh medium tyres? So he is opting to go long in the 2nd stint. Mintseeker still out on track. Now, the gap to 2nd position, Robbie E, is just 17 seconds. So Mintseeker nearly a full pit stop ahead. We'll keep an eye on the leader now and see if he does indeed come into the pits, and he doesn't. He continues on again. So Mintseeker obviously happy with the condition of the tyres, the degradation, and the team obviously relaying good feedback to him. So he's going to stay out again. Surely it won't be long before he is in. Robbie stays out with him, the Red Bull. Obviously these guys finding a little bit of confidence in their car. Wayne Hammer, of course, is going to stay out because he is on the medium tyre, so he has a bit to go yet before he's going to pit. And it is going to be Forrester is in 4th position, so he climbs back up through the field after people have made their pit stops. Juan Luke in 5th position, and he is, as we said, on the medium tyre, going strong. Chisholm on the soft tyres in 6th place, followed by Shag, who has pitted for the Red Bull, and he has also put on the medium tyre, so he's going for the long stint number 2 as well. Surely this time though Mintseeker is going to have a pit because any more and he's going to start losing time, and he's gained so much of it, there would be a shame to throw it away. And no, Toro Rosso again opting to stay out. Wayne Hammer. Wonder what the degradation looks like on them tyres. Can't be too good. And no issues as of yet for the Renault driver. Still going strong. And continues on his way in second position. He's got a long way to make up. 20 seconds actually on the leader, and Minseeker should be able to pit and return to the lead with a gap like that. Forrester now is also a good bit back from the leader in third position, and closely followed by Juan Luke up to fourth place. Jism in fifth, followed by Robbie He, who's been in the pits. And nice overshot view there, and Robbie on the softer tyres again, so split strategies from the Red Bull team as he climbs all over the back now of Jism's Mercedes. And still trying to close in. Will Jism come into the pits, or is he going to continue on these soft tyres? He is continuing on. Robbie has to hunt him down. Robbie getting really close now to the back of this Mercedes of Jism. Is he going to make a move? He's looking down the inside. Jism tries to defend and does. Robbie still not giving up. He's got the inside again. Very close to the back now of that Mercedes is the Red Bull. As we travel up to the second detection zone, the DRS, and and he's got it. Robbie opens the rear wing. Has he got enough pace? He's going to down the inside. No, thinks better of it. Into the hairpin. And lines himself up right behind the Mercedes. Surely he's going to line himself up for a move. Coming out of the final turn and get the detection zone for the DRS again. And get a good run down the straightaway to turn one. Here comes Robbie. Ooh, tries to hold it together and just about does, but he's lined up beautifully behind the back of that Mercedes. Has he got the pace though to defend? Jism does have the pace to defend, and he does beautifully well. It's starting to frustrate Robbie a little bit, I'm sure. And again, Robbie climbing all over the back of this Mercedes. Spain, of course, looks like it is a track that can offer a lot of overtaking opportunities, but if you do look at the outlay of the track, the overlay of the track and the corners that are there, it's a lot trickier to overtake than it looks. This part here, that's the second DRS detection zone, and probably down to turn one would be the most common places to do so. Other than that though, a lot of bends are restricted, and if you cover the lines right, then it leaves virtually no way at all to make any kind of a maneuver. So very, very tricky indeed. Spain. And again, Robbie opening the DRS. Is he going to make a run down to turn one? Can he get the pace and the momentum this time? He has a look, but the Red Bull just seems to struggle even with DRS wide open. That Mercedes has an answer for it, and Robbie is just going to continue now to get really frustrated to find a way past this Mercedes of Jism. So we'll move again up the field to see if we have any change. Juan Luke sits in third position. in the Force India. Ahead of him is Wayne Hammer, but yet to pit in the Renault, and running very well indeed. Mintseeker now still leads the race, and obviously, as we said, he's got back out in the lead. Medium tyres now for the leader, and he surely will go a long way. Gap down to second place now. Obviously not as long or as big as it was from that pit stop. 6 seconds I think is the gap. Still quite a comfortable lead, and again around we go. Wayne Hammer and the Renault team. We wonder what kind of strategy Renault will use here, for obviously starting on the medium tyres. Will it be a reversal to the rest of the cars? Will they go for medium again and wait for the soft tyres until the end? Which is a possibility. Just wait and see. It shouldn't be long before Wayne Hammer is coming into the pits. Mintseeker leads the way, obviously you can see. Mustafa Shag, as we're now down to 6 drivers. Mustafa Shag at the back of the pack, but so far every car lining themselves up for points here tonight, if they finish, that is, because we started with a lot of drivers and now we only have 6. Jism in 5th place, and has lost the battle finally with Robbie E in the Red Bull, who's managed to get his way past. Sod's law, when you follow a battle for ages, nothing happens, and the minute you leave it, the overtake is done. But anyhow, the move has been done, and obviously safely, because both cars are still on the track with everything intact. And look at this, Jism now on the attack, trying to repass the Red Bull down to the hairpin, and you can see in the mirrors of Robbie's car there is a Silver Arrows behind, and if Robbie is lacking the pace that we thought he was down the straight, if the Mercedes stays out for another lap, he's going to have a hard job defending Jism down to turn 1, and Jism does stay out. What kind of an exit can he get to stay with the back of this Red Bull? It just looked like Robbie eked away a little bit, but the Mercedes has DRS and has the pace, as we've seen. So can he get an attack into turn 1? He's just a little too far back, but goes late on the brakes, and already we have do we have back markers? 5th position, 4th position, and there is one Luke, and already he is being caught by the Red Bull of Robbie. Obviously Robbie on the faster tyre, but his life of them tyres is not going to last very long, so he probably will be a threat to one Luke now, and will probably win the battle between the two, but it won't last for long because his tyres won't go much further. So we'll keep an eye on this one. But as Robbie moves closer to one Luke, he's taking Jism with him. Down the straightaway we go again. Robbie still defending. Oh, and Jism gets very, very close to the back of the Red Bull there and almost collected the rear end of Robbie's car, but managed to escape alive. Obviously Jism trying to brake as late as possible to regain the time that he's losing from the exit out at the final corner onto towards turn 1. And all the while this battle goes on, there you can see the Force India of one Luke getting very, very close to the front of that Red Bull. Robbie will be attacking very soon, but how awkward will Luke make it for him? You can see Robbie already within the DRS detection zone as we enter into the hairpin. Robbie obviously going to try and line himself up for an attack down towards turn 1, but that Force India very, very slippery and very quick in a straight line. So how will he be able to defend? Obviously, want Luke on the slower tyre. And down we go, and Jism now back into the DRS zone and tries an attack. And at the inside after turn 1, and Jism makes it stick up the inside. And Robbie knew he was there, he gave him the room. While Robbie was trying to attack Juan Luke, he wasn't expecting the Mercedes to come back at him, but he did. I just wonder, is it possible that the life of the tyres on that Red Bull are already starting to die? This is all the while saving Juan Luke from attack. Oh, and defensive, very defensive from Jism. And he knew the attack from the Red Bull was coming. And again, you can see Robbie lining himself up, and I'm sure now at this stage getting very frustrated with this battle. He probably feels that he has a faster car. The Mercedes is obviously a force to be reckoned with, as you can see clearly. And it's now reversal. And can the Red Bull make an attack down to turn 1? He's looking. No, just hasn't got the legs. And you can see the difference in the previous lap. The Mercedes just comes from so far behind, makes the move stick because he's got the pace to carry him. The Red Bull just struggles with top end, and it seems to be its biggest downfall. And already Jism now very close to the back end of that Force India of Juan Luke. So Juan Luke struggling now because of these medium compound tyres. They're not as quick as the soft, but they are more durable. Luke runs a little wide. He's under pressure. The DRS is open for the Mercedes driver as he looks down the inside of the hairpin. And again, there you can see the Red Bull coming back into play again. This is one heated battle. And it's going to get very interesting now to see what kind of attack is going to be made. Can Jism overtake the Force India? Can the Red Bull of Robbie get back at the Jism's Mercedes down the main straight? What's it going to be? Force India very tricky to overtake. The same engine in the back of that car as is in the Mercedes. And Jism makes the move down the inside. Does he make it stick? Beautifully done. And Jism is into second position. What a maneuver. Laid on the brakes up the inside the same way he overtook Robbie, and that was beautifully done. And now Robbie having a look. Oh, Robbie getting a little bit out of shape, but tried to have a look at Luke there, and Luke not willing to give up his position that easily. But the Mercedes of Jism up to second place, so obviously carrying a lot of pace. And here comes Luke now. He wants his place back. Looks down the inside, thinks better of it. Oh, into the hairpin, covered off by Jism. And now that mistake from Luke has put Robbie right on top of him. Surely this time now, if Jism can break the deadlock of DRS from Juan Luke, maybe Luke is now going to fall captive to the Red Bull of Robbie, and it looks like it might happen because Robbie is very, very close and well within striking distance here. The DRS is wide open. Luke does not get DRS, so he's going to be under attack from Robbie's Red Bull. Can he make it stick down the inside? Has he got the pace? No! Again! So that just shows you the comparison between the cars. The Mercedes power car way more advanced with power than the Red Bull and that Renault engine. And really struggling for top end is Robbie, and you could nearly be certain that he would have had a lot more manoeuvres executed by now if he had the pace to carry him through. This is going to be really tricky stuff. The battle's still consistent between these three. Really. Oh, Luke, it's a little wide on the exit there. Robbie's going to have a look. Luke stays on the inside to go defensive, covers off the line, but around the outside goes Robbie, and a well manoeuvred overtake there from the Red Bull. Beautifully done, and Robbie finally takes advantage of the slower moving Force India ahead of him, and didn't take long to execute that manoeuvre. He wasn't going to be asked twice, as Luke has managed to hold them off for long enough. That might help Luke's stint further down the race. He will be staying out longer than these two guys ahead of him, so I wouldn't worry too soon if I was the Force India driver. It's not too bad. It's not as bad as, definitely not as bad as it looks. So and Luke's got back ahead of Robbie again, so now not letting up at all. And Robbie's coming back at him. This is going to hurt Robbie's tyres so much, and it'll hurt Luke's tyres as well, but he has the more durable mediums on, so he can still go longer no matter what. But Robbie just finding it so difficult in that Red Bull to get the jobs done and pull away into clean air, because the Red Bull just struggles with pure top end. But up the inside again, he's got the grip in the turns and the corners, and retakes third position from one Luke. Now is under threat again as Luke is in the DRS, and ooh, gets it all wrong on the exit there, and that there might be the sigh of relief needed from Robbie, as Luke got a little bit out of shape there. He managed to hold it together just. Still hasn't lost a massive amount of time. He's still within range for an attack, but it could have been a lot worse for Luke. But he's managed to hold on, and Robbie got out of shape in the final corner, and he has. Luke's coming back at him down the straight, side by side. Luke's going to have the DRS here, and he does. Opens it wide, and he surely is going to have the pace, and really so easy for the Force India driver. He's got the top end in that car with the Mercedes power plant that the Red Bull would just wish that he had, and he just didn't have an answer for that. And again, Robbie just cannot seem to shake this Force India, and it's really going to be a thorn in his side now, and the stint of these tyres is going to be so bad. The best thing you can nearly do would be to pit, get the undercut, clear the traffic, get away from that Force India, because he just seems to be struggling so much behind him, and even if he does get past, it doesn't last for very long. Again, Luke just runs a little wide over the curb there. Robbie looks down the inside. He's not close enough for a manoeuvre, and the Force India closes him off nicely. And into the third sector again we go to finish lap 28 out of 66. The next round of pit stops should be coming up shortly. For now, we're going to stick with this battle. Ooh, and the Red Bull looked like it got a little out of shape there, and it did. And Robbie is in the pits, and so is Jism. What does Jism pit for? It is medium tyres, and we will jump to Robbie as he enters the pits now to get rid of this badly worn set of options, and he puts on the medium tyre and clears himself of traffic, which would be a sigh of relief as well for the Force India of one Luke, as the second sister Red Bull of Mustafa Shag enters the pit lane, and Red Bull are ready for him. And what will it be for Shag? Is it going to be the opposite strategy for him? And it is. It's a soft tyre, so we should have the faster moving Red Bull now with Shag, who is 6th, and the final car, Mintseeker, who we haven't seen for a while now. 31 seconds because of that battle that we've enthralled for the last few laps. 31 seconds is now the gap up ahead to Mintseeker, and he is literally cleaning up, pulling away into the distance so much that he can relax. again. Luke now in clear air as he is chased down now by Wayne Hammer, who is on the medium tyre and moving very well indeed. Ever consistent Wayne Hammer, always collecting good healthy points, and it looks as if he's on his way for another nice bundle here tonight. Unfortunately, we don't have the same amount of runners that we usually did have of a Sunday night for the F1 division, but a few complications and a nasty bit of a start to this race factored out the reason for a few retirements. We've also had a few minor tussles and a few collisions as well that we're going to have to look into after the race, as that have resulted in retirements, DNFs unfortunately. So will have to be looked at unfortunately at the end of the race, but as I said, we will look into it and see if we can get to the bottom of some of these incidents and get the views of the drivers of as to what happened. And again, you can see the Renault driver now starting to reel in the Force India of Juan Luke. So if Juan Luke, I don't know, is pacing himself throughout this race and taking it easy, I don't know, but he seems to be an easy target for some of these cars behind. But yet again, when they do approach him, he's just a little bit awkward to get past. He doesn't give up his position too easily, and he fights back, as you've seen already. So Wayne might be catching him, but passing him is going to be a different story. Quick gander down the field. Jism is in 4th position in the Mercedes, running well. Robbie E on the medium tyre in 5th place, and he leads his teammate quite a distance. And Mustafa Shag, as we just had a look at there, has been disqualified from the race, and when he was having such a good run, he was up to 6th position and disqualified unfortunately. And that is not good. So if you can have a quick, I think we're just going to have a quick look at the race director here, and we are going to have a look to see if we can find penalties, maybe warnings, penalty and a warning, the drive-through penalty for Shag and a DSQ. Right, well that is not good. Incidents, so Forrester had penalties as well. Where is Mustafa Shag? Juan Luke with penalties also. More than 2 penalties. So he could be in trouble at the end if he makes it to the end. Warnings from Mintseeker, who also carries a penalty as well. Juan Luke again. Juan Luke with more penalties. And Shag with a penalty. Multiple warnings. Jism also has a penalty. Juan Luke with another penalty. Robbie with penalties. Wayne Hammer, I think, is probably one of the cleanest out there. Jism with another penalty. And so Mustafa Shag ignored a drive-through penalty and got DSQ'd. So that is the reason why Shag has been DSQ'd from the race. That would tend to happen when you do ignore a drive-through penalty. You do get DSQ'd unfortunately, so we're going to have to find out why that happened, because Shag was in for a good haul of points there, and I'm sure the Red Bull team won't be too happy with his decision not to come in. And Seeker ahead of Wayne Hammer by 37 seconds. So a long way back, but I'm sure Wayne won't mind too much about that. He's going to have a good haul of points to collect if he can keep this up. We are now halfway through the race, 33 laps to go here. Jism in 3rd position. Robbie in 4th place and one Luke in 5th. So the final driver, 5 drivers left here in Spain. And the apologies for the lackluster commentating here tonight. As you can see, of a 3rd attempt at the race, and unfortunately left with only 5 drivers, and also the complications of another commentator left on my own. It doesn't make for the most exciting night, unfortunately, but you gotta do what you gotta do with what you have, and this is what we have, unfortunately, and this is obviously the best I can do to pull something out of this race. So again, apologies, but it is what it is. We'll just get on with it. Respect to the guys that have still continued here and showed up, are still racing, obviously, so they're taking time out of their nights to be here with us, so obviously we gotta show respect to them and continue streaming for them, because it wouldn't be fair otherwise. Ahead now, Wayne Hammer. Unfortunately, not a lot going on here in Spain. So yeah, if you would like to come join us here at DRL and be a part of our racing, you can hit us up on our website at www.dynamicracingleague.com. You can also get us on our Facebook page at Dynamic Racing League, and if you can never manage to join us live from our Twitch feeds, you can get us on our YouTube channel, where our racing guru and tech head, Mr. DRL Beer and Kebab, who is our site operator and a very good job at it as well. He does usually within a matter of minutes has the race uploaded to our YouTube channel, and which is Dynamic Racing League as well, so you can get us there as well. Give us a hit, give us a like, and you know, hopefully we do our best, as we said, to bring to you the best racing on Xbox Live. And I do believe that we do carry probably some of, if not the best drivers from the online racing department, and the battles that we do bring usually in GP2 and F1 are enthralling, brilliant, if I may say myself, but obviously not tonight is a good example. Unfortunately, we've had a few unforeseen circumstances, which, as I said, we have to deal with, but it does happen from time to time. We're not exactly perfect, and this is what we've got for tonight, so that wouldn't be probably the best example of racing, as we still have had a few battles that were good, even when there's very few cars on track. Robbie running very well in 4th position, and he is starting to catch I think the Mercedes of Chisholm. He is. A lot of penalties for some drivers. Luke carrying a lot of penalties as well, so he mightn't finish the race. Hopefully he does. Wayne Hammer now seems to be coming into his own, and yeah, Wayne Hammer now is, how could you see, way behind the leader. But yeah, I don't think Wayne was is focusing on trying to be a threat to Minseeker. I think from the starting grid that there was and the amount of cars that there were, I don't think Wayne would ever have anticipated that he would have been in second position with his Renault and running very well indeed. So I'm sure an absolutely ecstatic Renault team watching on, and hopefully dreaming of these 18 points that they wish that their driver can pick up at the end of this Spanish Grand Prix. And I'm sure Mr. Wayne Hammer himself would be delighted to pick up these 18 points, followed now by Jism, who's a long way back. He's been hunted down by Robbie E, and there is Robbie E in the Red Bull, the closest battle we have so far here in Spain. Juan Luke another good bit back in 5th position in the Force India. So only one of every car remaining, no teammates left at all, and we'll right on board with Robbie to see if he can hunt down this Mercedes of Jism. This is the closest on-track battle that we're going to have, and we are approaching the end of lap 39 pretty soon, which will leave us with 26 laps to go. Oh, now what has happened there? Why? Okay, that's a little bit confusing. Why has Jism pulled over there for... that's a bit strange. These cars were in direct battle with each other, and it just looked to me as if Jism had pulled over to one side of the track to let the Red Bull through. Nice. Well, that was a bit too easy, and Wayne Hammer still going about his business. Because of the lack of cars on track, obviously he's putting less stress on the tyres, less stress on the cars, less stress on the drivers, which also means that these there's no dirty air. There is no tyre dag stuck behind another car. There's no battling to go, so everything is easier, a little more boring, but easier on the drivers, on the cars, on the tyres, on the brakes, on everything else, on the engines. Less stress all around, which means that they can eke out their strategy to go further and their stints to go further, which means this is why we're not having so much active pit stops. No urgencies, no diving into the pits for last minute strategy changes. Everything just is as you do, and just a little bit too easy, would you say, for the drivers now, and something tells me a lot of these drivers are happy with their position as they are and are just going about their business. No real rush. I think some of them, i.e. like Minseeker or stuff like that, they know that they're not under threat. They know that they won't be challenged, so they're just taking it easy. Gap between the leader and second position staying mostly the same. Robbie going about his business, trying to track down the Renault of Wayne Hammer, but he seems to be a good bit ahead and way out of sight. Juan Luke now moves himself up to 4th position. Jism down to 5th, so I wonder, has Jism made a pit stop? .40-second lap here in Spain. Jism also going to be collecting some healthy points for his Mercedes team, which I'm sure he as a constructor, or he as a driver and them as a constructor, will be happy about. Force India of one Luke. Luke on a few penalties, so he needs to take it easy here in Spain. He needs to take it easy till the end of this race. He's got 24 laps to do it. 23 laps now, so he's going to have to take it handy, because with the large scale of points that he can collect, they could be at jeopardy if he steps a foot wrong on the boundaries of this track and collects any more penalties. It could lead to a DSQ, and I'm sure he will have got the warning from his team on the pit wall. Wayne Hammer just looks as if he's really at ease here. No pressure whatsoever. Wayne crosses the line to complete lap 43 in very, very clean air. You can see Wayne fighting with his Renault, nothing over the top, no pressure, as you can see. Nice smooth turns on the wheel. Nice calm collected gear changes, no over revving of the engine, and just as you do, as you go. Nice smooth braking points, so no pressure being put in the car whatsoever. Wayne in a very good position now to collect second place here in Spain. Doesn't look anytime soon as if he's going to be challenged, but I'm sure there's going to be at least one more pit stop before the end of this race, and it'll probably be a medium run for a lot of these cars to take them to the end. Board with the leader, Minseeker, and just going about his business very casually indeed. Chisholm in 4th place, Luke in 3rd. Where is Robbie? There he is, Robbie out of the pits, which will probably be his final pit stop, and it is. He puts on the well, now this is actually very interesting because so just under 20 laps to go. Robbie has put on the soft tyre, and the soft tyre is not going to do 20 laps, so he's going to have to pit again. This could hamper his chance of moving up a position. Luke back up to 3rd place now, and still in contention for a podium, and he will be looking for that podium. And maybe now, with that decision from the Red Bull of Robbie to put on the soft tyres, Luke and Force India could counteract that with their next pit stop if they are the medium tyres and just go to the end, because Robbie is not going to get to the end. No complications as of yet for the Force India driver. Everything looks nice, calm and collected. Chisholm in 4th place on the soft tyre also, so he is definitely going to have to pit again as well. Battle now. I think at this stage Wayne Hammer might have got his 2nd place secured, and if not 2nd, most definitely 3rd. The battle, I think, at the end is going to be between Chisholm and Juan Luke for that final podium position. Robbie might come back into contention, but with that extra pit stop that he's going to have to do, I can't see him continuing the whole race to the end on these soft tyres. If he does, he will be seriously out of a lot of grip, and these tyres will be so much on the cliff that they will be very close to popping probably, so I can't see Robbie having to go to the end on these. If he does, I will be shocked. Minseeker, I'm sure, who's going to pit again probably no time soon, is well away into the distance, and as we speak there is Wayne Hammer, and now Wayne has gone with the soft tyres also, so This is very peculiar. Do these drivers think that they're capable of going to the end? There in the background you can see is one Luke. Wayne Hammer gets out ahead of him and will be able to pull away on the faster compound fresh soft tyres now. So that should save him, because Luke is going to have to pit again. But what is Luke going to do here? Because Luke can really make some good positions here, because if he opts to go on the medium tyre to the end with his next pit stop and the cars ahead have to pit again, this could be Luke's chance to grab a podium position higher up than where he is at the minute. Wayne Hammer now starting to pull away again into the distance from one Luke. Wayne obviously on the fast yellow wall soft tyres. Just 16 laps to go here in Spain, and unfortunately it hasn't been the most eventful race, but we're about to get a little bit of a battle here now, as Jism is closely and very, very quickly approaching the rear end of that Force India belonging to Luke, who's on these medium tyres quite a while now, but obviously they are slower than the yellow walled soft tyres, so he's going to be under attack soon enough, and he stays out, continues on his way. We'll see now what's going to happen here. Right on board with Luke for the moment, and we will see very soon. And there is the shot of the Mercedes of Jism as he approaches the back of the Force India, and it won't be long before he makes an attack. And now can Jism get a good run out of the final corner down the straight towards turn 1. He's right behind the Force India. He's got the DRS wide open, side by side with Luke. And down to turn 1, and he makes that move stick. The Mercedes carrying beautiful pace. And good job done by Jism as he moves to 3rd position. Luke is trying to stay with the Mercedes of Jism to tow him along. Luke obviously on his own strategy, so he's in no panic to pit anytime soon. He's going to try and latch on to the back of that Mercedes and take a DRS run down to turn 1 to start his 53rd lap. Fourth position so far for Luke. Robbie in 5th, and the last of the runners. Wayne Hammer way back in 2nd position, but he won't mind. Still in a great position for him. Jism still has one Luke for company, but as I said, 2 cars on totally different strategies, so keep an eye on this. I think this is the battle for 3rd position for the final podium place. And Jism blinks first, but one Luke follows them in. What way is this going to end? Because this is going to be a battle to the end now. And it's a set of soft tyres for the Mercedes driver. It's a set of soft tyres for the Force India driver. And also Robbie is in as well, so it's probably going to be a set of soft tyres for him too. And it is. This is going to be a straight battle to the end. We hadn't had much action most of the race, but watch this space, because now the Force India driver of one Luke gets out just ahead of Mintseeker, but he's going to have to let him through. They're going to be lapped. The leader probably shocked and surprised to see cars on the track. He hasn't had much company really from the start, and these 2 guys now on track ahead of him are battling for the final podium position, and it's a battle to the end between Jism and one Luke. We didn't have many battles throughout the race, but this now is going to be a battle to the end. 12 laps to go. How urgent is Mintseeker going to try and get past? Ooh! And one Luke has retired. Wow, what happened there? That is a bit of a surprise. Straight into the wall. The final chicane there as Luke drove straight. Wow. So that leaves us with 4 drivers. This race is really, really bizarre. Minseeker leads, so it's safe to say I think that Wayne Hammer is going to pick up second position here. 10 laps to go now in Spain, and I'm sure let's see. Hammer goes about his business. His closest rival, Jism, is a long way back. Hammer goes about his business. His closest rival, Jism, is a long way back. So yeah, as we said, a very, very strange Spanish Grand Prix. Hasn't been right from the start, to be quite honest. Problems with guys lagging out, problem with internet connections. Then we had a shady start. We had a lot of damage, a lot of crashes, a lot of retirements. We've had DNFs, we've had DSQs, guys not coming into the pits, ignoring drive-through penalties. It's just been quite bizarre and unexplainable, to be very truthful. As I said, we have what we have. We've got to deal with it. We've got to use it, and it is what it is. Robbie, don't know if he's going to have enough time, enough power, enough legs to gain anything on Jism. He's a little too far back. Yeah, he's not. Jism's already down the main straight, and Robbie is still not even on the straight, so I don't think there's going to be any threat there. As you can see, into the pits comes the leader for a final run to the end. 7 laps he's going to have on these soft tires. No, hasn't been the best. Spanish Grand Prix here this evening, but we've done what we could do. So, yep, just a few laps to go here in Spain, and we will be all done and dusted. Wayne on his way to pick up a fantastic 18 points. I know, not taking that away from Wayne's achievement, but he hasn't had it exactly too hard in this race, but still nonetheless you got to finish to get the points, and that's exactly what this man does every single time. Mr. Consistent, and definitely branded with that label, quite rightly so. Hats off to him again, and a fantastic job he's done. He's kept it within the ditches, and from what I can see, probably, if I'm not wrong, the cleanest driver out there with the least amount of penalties. So fair play to him. And actually what I'll do is to a bit of interaction with the drivers. I will take a quick look at incidents. Luke steadily with the penalties, Jism with penalties, Luke with more penalties, and I'm surprised Luke is even still in the race with this amount of penalties he's collecting, but he's there, and fair play to him. Luke again, 3 seconds. Jism, and Luke has DNF'd, yeah, that was right, at DNF on lap 54. We'll have to find out what happened to him. Jism with 3 seconds, with Jism as well running very high with the penalties, so if he doesn't take it easy, he's going to get DSQ'd before the end of this race. Yeah, so we're going to have a word with Luke to see what happened to him. But yeah, nothing from Mintseeker, and nothing from Mintseeker did have a penalty, but nothing from Wayne Hammer, and a fantastic run he's had. Jism in 3rd place, a good run as well for Jism, who usually isn't up on the podium positions too often, so fair play to him. Run, 61 laps completed, about to complete 62. Robbie in 4th, who's again had a few battles throughout the race with Luke, with Jism, and he has managed to stay alive and on his way to collect some healthy points as well. Robbie as well, also being collecting points but being clean. as we watch Menseeker come around to continue on his 62nd lap and complete it to start his 63rd. Just 3 laps to go now here in Spain, and I'm sure these guys would probably be glad to finish this race. Next week, though, remind you, it could be just as quiet, as we are on our way to Monaco. So there could be more carnage, more DNFs. Who knows? But for now, we are in Spain. We have 3 laps to go. We are on board with the leader, Menseeker, who has led from the start. Well, it's a lie. It was a random grid, so he didn't lead from the start. But once he took the lead, he led from there on. Wasn't overtaken, I'm nearly certain of saying. So yeah, 64 laps to be completed soon enough. Wayne Hammer, cool, calm and collected as always, bringing Renault home some valuable points this evening. And I'm sure the team bosses on the pit wall will be delighted with the achievement, as Renault will move up even more much needed points in the constructors battle. Jism as well, another good race. A lot of penalty points, penalties collected by Jism, so he just needs to keep it cool and calm and clean for the next few laps to make sure he reaches the end. And as you can see, there is the final car, Robbie E in the Red Bull. Robbie keeping it rather clean as well, this last third stint of the race. So some much valuable and much needed points for Red Bull. Still don't know though as to why Shag, unless he missed the warning, or unless there was a miscommunication between the pit wall and the driver, if there was a communication error within the radio, but he ignored the drive-through penalty that he collected, and obviously which ended up to be the reason why he got DSQ'd. So we'll have to get a word from Shag to see what the reason behind that was. As you can see in the background, there is the leader coming around to lap Red Bull, as he is on his way to complete his second last lap. And what a fine race he's had. A solid 25 points in the bag. Was never challenged and was never under pressure, to be fair, as he continues across the line to start his 66th and final lap. The Toro Rosso guys already getting themselves geared up to approach the pit wall to celebrate with their driver, as he will be back around shortly, and I'm sure he will celebrate in style as he crosses the line, and the Toro Rosso team will definitely celebrate tonight. It hasn't been the most challenging race for Menseeker so far this season. It's been quite laid back and probably the easiest 25 points of the season that he will collect for himself, but points are still points at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how you collect them. As long as you're there at the end to cross the line to pick them up, that is the main objective, and that is the whole point of racing. So I'm sure he's not going to feel too bad towards the drivers that didn't finish. He's just going to be concentrating on his own championship and his own battle on track. And that's all every driver, I'm sure, would agree that they do also. So the final few corners now. We ride on board with the leader. He's not going to lap Robbie, but I don't think he's going to care too much as we come around the final corner and across the start-finish line. And he is, as you can see, ecstatic and takes race victory in Spain. And congratulations to Menseeker. Well done on an effortless win and a valuable 25 points for his championship battle. And a good bit back, nearly a minute back to be precise, is this man. And the Renault team, as you can see in the pit, are absolutely ecstatic with their achievements. They're ecstatic with this driver. He's done them proud again today. He's been one of the many few that have finished, or the little few I should say that have finished, but he's finished nonetheless. And a beautiful final stint to this race. Very, very clean, and probably, if I can say with confidence, the cleanest driver out there today, as he continues around the final corner. And he will be ecstatic with his 18 points and his second place finish on the grid. And a very, very well done to Mr. Wayne Hammer. Congratulations to him, congratulations to Renault, and they will be happy with that. And there you can see the final podium position taken up by the Mercedes team and Gism, and he will be happy with that as well. 15 points on the board for him. But we are yet to see what the position will stand by, if it can be stolen. I think it has been, and it is. Robbie takes third place due to the amount of penalties that have been incurred by the Mercedes team. And the 4 drivers that have finished, congratulations to them. But Gism robbed of his third position at the final corner, as Robbie was carrying less penalties. And Wayne and Menseeker, the only 2 drivers to carry 1 penalty each. So a great achievement by them, and fair play to them. And we'll try and get the drivers in, have a quick word with them. It's been a long night here at the F1 division, but we've got there in the end. Apologies for the late start. And we'll see if we can get a hold of our drivers now. And hopefully we can get them to join in and get a quick word.
Alright, Stig.
How's it going, guys?
Uh,